Have you ever had your day ruined by a simple mean comment or a provoking gesture? It happens to all of us. But the truth is, no one can control your emotions unless you let them. Now imagine the feeling of staying calm, no matter what happens. Picture going through an entire day with so much peace that nothing and no one can throw you off balance. This isn't a distant dream, but a real change that happens when you learn to control your emotions. In this video, I'll teach you 10 Stoic practices that will help you stop reacting impulsively, let go of anger, and take back control of your feelings. Stoicism is not about being insensitive or ignoring your emotions, but learning how to handle them intelligently. You'll learn how to handle criticism without losing your balance, set healthy boundaries, and most importantly, free yourself from grudges that hold you back. Before we start, please like this video, leave a comment, and subscribe to the channel. This way, YouTube understands that our content is important and will share it with more people who might benefit from it. Number 1, understand that you have full control. Imagine you're having a peaceful day, relaxing on the couch or getting things done. Everything seems fine until someone says something that bothers you. Your peace is interrupted, and a wave of frustration or anger rushes in. You think, why did that person ruin my day? But the truth is simple. No one can ruin your day without your permission. You have full control over your reactions. That moment of frustration is simply a choice. What the other person says or does may feel like a button they press on you, but you're the one who decides whether the button gets pressed. The world will always present challenges, but how you react to them is up to you. True strength comes from within, from your ability to control your emotions, not from impulsive reactions. Now, imagine being in a noisy city with cars honking and people shouting. Even though the noise is there, it doesn't invade your personal space. It's like wearing noise-canceling headphones. The sound exists, but you choose not to let it affect your inner peace. This is the essence of mastering your reactions, living in a chaotic world and still keeping your center. Peace doesn't come from the absence of noise, but from choosing not to be swept up by it. Between the stimulus and your response, there is a space. It's in that space that your power lies. True freedom is in how you choose to react. That's self-control, choosing calm over anger, understanding over impulsiveness. For example, when someone cuts you off in traffic, the temptation is to react with anger. But what if, instead, you take a step back? In that brief moment, you realize that your response is a choice. Think about a coworker who undermines your ideas. You could get upset and stew over it all day. But what happens if, instead of reacting, you stop and reflect? Ask yourself, is this about me, or is it about their stress? This moment of reflection gives you the power to decide. Often, the reactions of others have more to do with them than with you. That pause helps neutralize the emotional impact of the situation. Thinking this way doesn't mean ignoring or repressing what you feel. Anger, frustration, and disappointment are natural and part of being human. The trick is realizing that these emotions don't have to determine your actions. Each emotion is a chance to reflect, not a sentence that determines the next step. One simple way to train this mindset is to pause whenever you feel triggered. Ask yourself, what am I feeling? Anger, hurt. Naming the emotion interrupts the automatic reaction. Then ask yourself, why am I feeling this way? Is it about what happened, or about how I interpreted the situation? And finally, choose your response. Decide to act in alignment with your values, not your emotions. Now, imagine the freedom of living without letting others steal your peace. The insensitive comment, the setback, the ignorant stranger, they lose their power to affect you when you become the master of your reactions. You have two options. Let others define how you feel or claim your power and maintain your inner peace. The next time someone tries to get under your skin, remember, their behavior doesn't have power over your peace. Your reaction does. And it's in that choice for calm that you find true emotional freedom, and also the freedom to live with purpose and serenity. Number 2, I wouldn't act that way. Let go of that expectation. Have you ever noticed how frustrated we get when we expect others to act our way and they don't? Disappointment shows up and we think, how can they be so insensitive? I'd never do that. The truth is that people act based on their own experiences, not our expectations. Trying to control their behavior is like trying to catch the wind. No matter how hard we try, it will always go its own way. Each person has their own perspective on life, shaped by their beliefs and experiences. When someone acts in a way that hurts us, it doesn't reflect who we are. Most of the time, it's just a reaction based on what they know, nothing more. Trying to change other people's behavior only leads to frustration. Instead of expecting them to adjust to what we want, it's healthier to accept them as they are. Imagine a work meeting. A colleague keeps interrupting you. Instead of getting frustrated or trying to change their behavior, try to see the situation differently. Their way of acting reflects them, not you. When you stop expecting them to change, the stress fades away. As William Shakespeare said, expectations are the root of all suffering. The less we expect from others, the better we can protect our inner peace. Here's a simple exercise. Every time someone irritates you, ask yourself, what did I expect this person to do? Then ask yourself, is it realistic to expect them to act exactly how I want? Instead of trying to change them, focus on how you can react with more calm, maintaining your emotional balance. Imagine the freedom of letting go of all those expectations. The rude person, the friend who forgot about you, the colleague who wasn't considerate. None of them can take your peace unless you allow it. When you stop expecting others to act according to your wishes, you regain control over your reactions. Accepting this doesn't mean tolerating bad behavior or abandoning your principles. It's simply realizing that your peace is more important than something out of your control. The next time someone disappoints you, take a deep breath and remember, they are acting how they are, not how I want them to. This is beyond my control. In the end, the choice of how to react is yours. By letting go of expectations, you not only gain freedom from others, but also the relief from the emotional burden you've been carrying. Number 3, give up the need to always be right. Think about the last time you won an argument. Maybe it was about something small, like the best way to go, or maybe something more serious with a friend or partner. During the conversation, you probably felt the need to prove you were right, like that was the only important thing. Being right all the time is often tied to an internal insecurity, as if being proven wrong threatens our identity. But what if, instead of insisting on your opinion, you sought to understand the other person, making room for new ideas? Is being right worth more than having peace? When you focus on always winning an argument, you just create more tension, feeding frustration and damaging your relationships. On the other hand, when you choose not to cling to being the only one right, there's a sense of relief and inner peace. Think about this. If someone accuses you unfairly, the urge to defend yourself comes immediately. But does it really make sense to waste energy trying to prove they're wrong? The answer, most of the time, is no. Here's a simple example. Your friend says they have the perfect solution to a problem, and you disagree. Instead of getting into conflict, you can respond calmly. I understand your opinion and respect it. This kind of response diffuses the situation and keeps the peace. Those who cling too much to their own opinions never evolve. Letting go of the need to be right doesn't mean abandoning your principles. It means choosing battles more wisely, knowing when to yield and when to stand firm. Over time, you'll realize that letting go of the obsession with being right brings more lightness and serenity. In the end, you don't need to win every conversation because you've learned to choose peace over pride. Remember, true strength isn't about winning arguments, but knowing how to act in them and, most importantly, maintaining your peace. When the temptation to prove something arises, ask yourself, does being right bring happiness, or is it peace that transforms us? Start ignoring that need now. Comment, I prefer my peace, and understand that this statement shows you're stronger than any situation. Number 4, don't be defined by others' words. Imagine a moment when you share something that truly motivates you, something that touches your heart. Suddenly, someone makes a negative comment. That unexpected word cuts the mood, and your confidence drops. But why does this happen? The reason is simple. We often give others the power to define how we see ourselves. When we seek approval from outside, we allow others to control our worth. True power comes from within, and that's what gives us confidence. When someone criticizes your work, your initial reaction might be to defend yourself or feel discouraged. But what if, instead of reacting immediately, you took a pause and thought that their opinion is just that, an opinion, and not a sentence about your value? That pause creates space for reflection. It gives you the chance to process before acting, not to ignore what was said, but to separate what's useful from what doesn't deserve to be absorbed. It's an exercise in inner peace, something the Stoics always emphasized. It's not about controlling what happens, but controlling how we react to it. Take a moment to reflect on this pause. You reaffirm who you truly are. It's not about ignoring criticism, but about acting with authenticity and not letting others' judgments shape you. Your worth doesn't depend on others' opinions. It comes from within. Being aware of this strengthens your self-esteem. Lao Tzu reminds us, if you care too much about what others think, you become their prisoner. Freeing yourself from the constant need for approval doesn't mean ignoring others, but rather letting go of what doesn't contribute to your growth. This is liberating and brings the emotional lightness essential to living well. Next time someone challenges your confidence, take a pause and ask yourself, is this really going to define who I am, or can I focus on what's truly important? This simple reflection is key to recognizing your true strength. Real strength isn't about avoiding criticism, but about knowing who you are and standing firm. When you stop letting others' words define your worth, you create space to be who you truly are. And by doing so, you not only become more authentic, but also keep your peace, something no one can take from you. Number 5, honor your boundaries. Imagine a day full of commitments and responsibilities. In the middle of it, someone comes to you with a request they could easily handle on their own, or a coworker throws a last-minute task on your plate. How do you feel? Frustration building up, right? It messes with your plans and you wonder, why is it so hard to say no? The answer is simple. To protect your peace, you need boundaries. Without them, you let others decide how you spend your time and energy. Saying yes all the time also means saying no to what really matters to you. The big lesson here is, you can't give your best to others if you don't take care of yourself first. If you give without considering your own energy, frustration and exhaustion are inevitable. Setting boundaries is, first and foremost, an act of self-respect. They not only protect your inner peace, but also help create healthier, more balanced relationships. Remember, when someone crosses your boundaries, it's your responsibility for not defending them clearly. People can't guess your needs. If you don't communicate your limits, they'll be crossed often, even unintentionally. Setting boundaries is a form of respect, both for you and others. For example, imagine a friend always asks for advice late at night. Even though you want to help, this situation becomes unsustainable. Instead of getting frustrated, try saying, I'd love to help, but I need to rest. Can we talk tomorrow? This is a firm but kind way to protect your well-being without harming the friendship. As Aristotle said, true freedom is not doing what you want, but doing what you must. If you struggle to set boundaries, start with clarity and honesty. Express your needs in simple, direct terms. People tend to respect you more when they know exactly what you need. For instance, say, I need some time for myself after work, instead of accusing someone with, you always bother me. The way you communicate makes all the difference. Once you set your boundaries, be consistent. Consistency shows you truly value your space and time. As the saying goes, he who knows when to stop avoids falling into traps. By respecting your own boundaries, you get rid of unnecessary stress and create a more balanced life. Boundaries are not walls that keep people away, but foundations for healthier, more respectful relationships. When you honor your own boundaries, you regain your energy and focus it on what really matters. Remember, your priority is you, your peace, your time, and your well-being. By putting yourself first, you can offer your best to the world. Number 6, let go of others' opinions. Have you ever felt bad after sharing an idea or opinion, only to be met with criticism or indifference? The pain is real. That feeling can turn your self-confidence into doubt. But pause for a moment and reflect. Why do others' opinions have so much power over you? We've all fallen into the trap of seeking approval. It's like trying to catch a shadow. You'll never succeed. True freedom comes when you decide not to submit to what others think. Everyone sees the world based on their own experiences and insecurities. What they say about you actually reveals more about them than about you. When you pay too much attention to others' opinions, you give up control over your emotions and let others decide your life for you. Your worth isn't up for debate. No matter what they say or think about you, your value is unshakable. This is detachment. The moment you free yourself from the need for approval, you start living according to your true essence. For example, you pick a new outfit and feel great in it. You ask a colleague and they mock you, saying, I don't know. You can either let it affect you or simply realize that their opinion doesn't have the power to ruin your happiness. This is the key. Detachment. Not letting others' opinions define your state of mind. Epictetus, the Stoic philosopher, said, if you want to improve, accept being seen as foolish. This can be hard, but that detachment is true freedom. Growing requires following your own path, even if it displeases others. The search for approval can paralyze you, but only you can walk your journey. So, how do you start freeing yourself from other people's opinions? First, question the value of those opinions. When something bothers you, ask yourself, why does this affect me so much? What authority does this person have over my life? Reaffirm your values and focus on what truly matters to you. Your actions should be guided by your own goals, not by the expectations of others. When facing criticism, acknowledge it, but don't let it dominate you. Imagine those words as leaves falling into a river. They pass without leaving a trace. Remember, if you seek approval, you'll be a prisoner of others. The next time someone tries to shake your confidence, ask yourself, am I living for this person or for myself? Choose to ignore what doesn't matter. Your path is unique and doesn't need to be shaped by fleeting opinions. Number 7, the strength of responding without saying anything. In moments of provocation, the temptation is to respond with anger. The heat rises, your heart speeds up, and the urge to defend yourself becomes almost irresistible. But have you ever thought about saying nothing at all? Silence, contrary to what many think, is one of the most powerful responses you can give during confrontations. It's not weakness. On the contrary, it's a demonstration of self-control and inner strength. When you choose not to react, you prioritize your inner peace over the need to justify yourself. And this reflects wisdom. Imagine a situation where someone tries to humiliate you publicly. You could react, get into the fight, and lose your energy, or you could opt for silence. By doing this, you take away the person's power to affect you, showing that their reaction has no influence over you. Silence, as Stoic philosophy teaches us, is a more effective response than anger. After all, anger needs fuel to grow, but silence quickly puts it out. By choosing not to engage, you cut the cycle of negativity and preserve your emotional health. Think of silence as a shield. It deflects attacks without pulling you into the battle. Here are 3 ways to use silence as your strongest response. Pause before reacting. When someone provokes you, take a moment to breathe and calm down. This brief interval creates a space for clarity and reflection. Listen without defending yourself. Often people just want to be heard. Offer that space without the need to justify your actions. Speak only when necessary. If you do speak, make it calm and to the point. Remember, speak only if your words will truly improve the situation. Silence doesn't mean suppressing your feelings, but choosing the right moment to express them. It doesn't ignore the problem, but helps preserve your energy while waiting for the moment when your words will make a real impact. How many times have we regretted something said impulsively? Silence is a protective mechanism that allows us to reflect before reacting and avoid those regrets. Next time someone tries to provoke you, ask yourself, will my response improve things or just make the situation worse? By choosing silence, you protect your peace and demonstrate control over the situation. Silence is true wisdom, the ability to rise above chaos and say, your words don't affect me, my peace does. And so, you win the battle without needing to raise your voice. Number 8, transform anger with gratitude. Have you ever found yourself in the middle of a day where nothing seemed to go right? Anger appears, and you wonder, why does everything have to be so difficult? Now, what if instead of giving in to anger, you decided to shift your perspective? What if, instead of focusing on what's wrong, you started noticing what's going right? Gratitude has the power to soften anger and turn even the most challenging moments into opportunities to find calm. There's a simple truth in this. We can't feel both anger and gratitude at the same time. When you connect with what's positive, anger loses its grip. It doesn't disappear magically, but it has no space to grow. Everything you focus on expands. Just as small actions fuel your anger, small thank yous change your energy. Cicero stated, gratitude is not only the greatest of virtues, but the mother of all others. When you practice gratitude, it not only extinguishes anger, but also strengthens your patience, resilience, and your ability to focus on what truly matters. It's a tool always at your reach, simple and powerful. The key is to make this a habit. When anger strikes, take a moment to breathe and ask yourself, what can I be grateful for right now? Try at the end of each day, writing down 3 things you're thankful for. It could be something very simple, but it helps shift your focus to the good, even on days when things seem tough. Moreover, it's important to change the way we see situations. When something doesn't go as planned, instead of focusing on the problem, ask yourself, what good can I take from this? For instance, if you receive negative feedback, rather than letting anger or sadness take over, Try reflecting. I'm grateful I can learn from this opinion, even if the delivery wasn't ideal. This doesn't mean passively accepting harmful behavior, but taking control over how you respond, keeping your calm. Remember, even if the day was tough and you didn't learn as much as you'd hoped, at least you didn't lose your peace of mind. Gratitude is an invitation to shift your focus from what's lacking to what you already have. It's not about ignoring anger or frustration, but about consciously choosing to look at what lifts you rather than what brings you down. Number 9, find value in criticism. It's normal for criticism to make us uncomfortable, but when we approach it with an open mind, it can become a powerful tool for growth. Instead of seeing it as an obstacle, we can use it to challenge ourselves and improve. Imagine you're preparing for a presentation, and a colleague points out several weaknesses. Rather than ignoring or defending yourself, pause for a moment and think, what can I learn here? Is there something I can actually improve? Shifting the focus from defense to learning turns the criticism into an opportunity to improve your skills. As Lao Tzu reminds us, knowing others is intelligence, knowing yourself is wisdom. Criticism then becomes a mirror reflecting aspects of ourselves that we might not have noticed on our own. Of course, not all criticism will be constructive. Some comes from negative places or people with bad intentions. The key is to separate what's useful from what isn't worth your time. Here are 3 tips for dealing with criticism more clearly. Take a deep breath before responding. This moment of pause helps avoid impulsive reactions and allows for calmer reflection. Assess the source. Who is giving the opinion? Does their opinion really deserve your attention? This can change how you view what's been said. Find the lesson. Even in the harshest criticism, there's something to learn. Ask yourself, what can I take away from this? Now, imagine a family member criticizes your life choices. Instead of reacting defensively, you stay calm, not letting the situation turn into an argument. As Epictetus said, no one is free who is not master of themselves. By staying calm and in control, you turn criticism into a push for growth, not a roadblock to your inner peace. So, when you receive criticism, instead of worrying about others' judgment, ask yourself, what can I learn from this? This simple exercise can be the key to becoming a stronger, more balanced person. Criticism, when faced calmly, is an opportunity to grow. Accept it with humility, and you'll see that within discomfort lies learning. Embracing this process is the way to build resilience and a deeper connection with yourself. Number 10, master the art of letting go. Imagine you're holding a hot coal, ready to throw it at someone who hurt you. But as you wait for the right moment, the coal burns your hand. Anger and resentment are exactly like that coal. You hurt yourself more by holding on to them than you hurt the person who caused your pain. True strength lies not in feeding that fire, but in knowing when to let it go. Letting go doesn't mean forgetting or ignoring what happened. It's about releasing the emotional weight that keeps you stuck in the past, creating space to live fully in the present. As the saying goes, holding on to anger is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die. The way we react to what hurts us defines our journey and our path of evolution. Now think, has something hurt you? How much time have you spent thinking about it? How much energy have you wasted imagining what you'd do or seeking revenge? Letting go is the key to breaking this cycle and moving forward with freedom. Imagine that at work, someone takes credit for an idea of yours. You could spend days brooding over this injustice, or you could decide not to give it more importance than it deserves. Remember, your worth doesn't depend on moments like that. By letting go of that grudge, you protect your peace and focus on what really matters, your growth and your opportunities. As Lao Tzu teaches us, when I let go of what I am, I become what I could be. Letting go is more than just releasing anger or resentment. It's about letting go of perfectionism, the fear of failure, and the need to control everything around us. It's accepting life with all its uncertainties and finding freedom in acceptance. Here are 3 steps to start practicing. First, recognize your feelings without judging them. Suppressing emotions only makes them stronger, so allow yourself to feel. Second, rethink the situation. Ask yourself, what can I learn from this? How can I grow from this? Finally, focus on the present. Letting go is your choice, not someone else's. When you shift your perspective, you'll feel the emotional weight lift. Think of it like releasing a balloon. The more you hold on, the harder it resists. But when you let go, it floats up, and you feel lighter. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, don't be upset by what's beyond your control. When you realize you're holding on to anger or regret, ask yourself, Is it worth losing my peace over this? What would happen if I just let it go? This is the path to true emotional freedom. Real strength lies in knowing when to let go. Over time, as you practice this, your sense of lightness increases, and the more you let go, the stronger you become. True peace will always be within your reach. If you've made it this far, comment "on the path" and thank you for watching.